Mr. Matlala, do you love money?
Yes, I do.
Sorry?
Yes, I do. I will say I will regard Brown Mokgotsi as a con artist, and Kele, yes, I will say he's an extortionist.
So don't you think that Mkwanas was busy with an investigation on that day, but you never realized it?
Yes, I don't know.
Don't you think that you were trapped on that day by Mkwanas?
In my view, Mr. Matlala, you're not a businessman. You're a crook.
I am.
You're a thief. You're a fraud, and you're corrupt.
I'm with a black BMW.
Matlala
Yes.
and Honorable James.
Or James Wayaga.
No, wait, Matlala, you. May you, with due respect, honorable members.
Welcome back to Heads Up SA, where we break down South Africa's most gripping stories. Today, we unpack the testimony of businessman and alleged cartel kingpin, Vusimuzi Matlala, whose words before Parliament's ad hoc committee have left the country stunned. Matlala began by rejecting claims that his empire was built on crime. He admitted some of his businesses may be unethical, but insisted they are not unlawful.
Bothering, right? So you have, 14 guards? You have 14 guards, personal security.
Yes.
So President has said the expense that just comes with that, you said you've got like about 2 million that you generate from one of your security companies. But you also have other businesses. Your lifestyle is large.
It's large.
It's large. 14 guards a day going around. Just talk about the guards. Then you said you got 9 kids. I'm assuming most of them, if they're still at school, they all go into private school. I'm sure you live in a very huge flash. I'm just talking your lifestyle alone. Does not quantify the amount of income you're saying that you received from your legitimate businesses. So I don't think, and maybe you must talk to it, is that one of your best friends, you've said, is a producer of drugs. How is it that you're not part of selling drugs when your best friend is that? You've just spoken to his mother. His mother has even said he's given you a plate of food. How are you supporting your lifestyle?
With my businesses. But there is proof in my bank statements where the money, you can trace where the money comes from. It's not like it's a cash deposit from private people. So you can see that it's this company and then there's an invoice. So you can trace where the money comes from.
He reflected on his rough upbringing, saying, "I had to raise myself. I was a street kid." He also shared painful family history, describing how his mother left him at a young age, only later discovering the tragic circumstances behind her disappearance.
No, I didn't.
And then you never worked in any formal employment or?
No, I never had any formal employment.
So from high school, that's when you engaged in informal trading?
Yes, I will say before even high school, my mother disappeared on me, and then I had to raise myself. I was actually a street kid. So I grew up in the street for a very long time. So I just realized after when I grew up that my mother passed away, but she was an albino. And I heard later that she was raped because there was this myth that if you can rape an albino, and then you can get cured for whatever. And then that thing traumatized her a lot that she disappeared. And when I found her, she was terminally ill. And then I think it was 2002 when I found her through her friend. It was very late and then she passed on. But all along, I was a street kid.
I'm sorry to hear that. Now,
Matlala accused PKTT officers of harassing his family during a raid, alleging his children were forced to sleep on the floor. This drew sharp criticism from EFF leader Julius Malema, who condemned the police's conduct, saying no child should ever be subjected to such treatment.
Mr. Matlala, I wish to, before I ask my questions, send my sympathy to your kids and your wife.
Thank you so much.
Because no one, even a hardened criminal, must have police coming into their house and making their kids to sleep on the floor. No one must ever do that to our kids and to our wives. If they've got an issue with you, they must take you on. Because the procedure would have been, once they arrive, they should have isolated the kids and put them with a female police officer in one room who's reassuring the kids that everything is fine, we are going to be fine, while police are interrogating you or doing their business. If this happened, it deserved to be condemned, Chair, because it was brought to our attention that kids were made to sleep on the floor. As black people, we have inherited trauma, and no one must pass that trauma to our children. And no one must take advantage of our wives. Whatever we do on the streets is between us and the streets and has got nothing to do with our children. And police must understand that wherever they are, that no one must ever take advantage of young kids. How do you put a child on the floor and point a child with a firearm? It is uncalled for, even if they are looking for the most dangerous criminal. That must never be done to children. I thought I must make that statement before I proceed.
In a bold move, Matlala labeled Brown Mogotsi a con artist and accused former police minister Bheki Cele of being an extortionist.
I will say I will regard Brown Mogotsi as a con artist, and Cele, yes, I will say he's an extortionist.
Now, you are calling him an extortionist. Why do you say that? Because that is the basis of your operations. Scratch my back, I will scratch yours.
Because his demands were becoming very unreasonable.
Entered into a deal with him in which you are supposed to pay R1 million and you have only paid half of it.
Because he was demanding for more than $1 million.
But why did you not go to $1 million and say, no, Chief, we can't proceed now because the deal has come to an end? And then instead you're calling him an extortionist.
That was a toxic relationship, what I can tell you. So from the meeting that I had with him, I could see that this is very toxic.
So you decided.
Also, Matlala insists he has no ties to drug cartels in Gauteng, claiming he only recently learned about the so-called Big Five criminal network. Here is where things get puzzling. Matlala testified that he helped at least 2 families whose loved ones were kidnapped. On both occasions, he claims he simply guessed who the kidnappers were, called them directly, and miraculously, the victims were returned. This raises serious questions. How does Matlala know these kidnappers personally? How does he have their numbers? And why does his intervention so effectively? Critics argue this suggests he may be more involved than he admits. Matlala, however, insists he is misunderstood, saying people only think he's pretending to help while secretly in charge. Honorable Nqola pressed him on another shocking revelation. Matlala admitted he once sent a police officer close to General Sibiya to buy his ski jet battery. Nqola asked bluntly, is it normal to send a police officer on your personal errands?
Your personal business.
But he's a human being after all, so after work he's no longer...
Okay. He is a policeman. Do you agree?
Yes, he is.
Do you agree that you send a police officer to buy yourself batteries for your boat? Do you agree?
Yes, I sent him.
Okay. So, do you agree that you send a police officer to run your personal errands?
I agree.
Okay. Do you know the relationship between Sergeant Gosi and General Spear?
I don't know the relationship.
Okay, I put it to you that Sergeant Gosi is a very, very close person to General Spear. Remember, the SC made an example of a video at Molefe's home. Yeah. But you don't know personally General Spear,
You have no personal relationship with General Spear, but his right-hand man runs your errands. You also attend some of his family occasions. How is that possible?
It is possible.
How?
Because I do not think Sergeant Nkosi only knows General Sibia, so he has other interactions with other people besides him.
Know what I'm saying? In your statement, you claim not to have a personal...
This moment highlights the blurred lines between Matlala's influence, law enforcement and personal power. Matlala also testified about his troubles with the SAPS tender process. He believes the problems stemmed from Old Mutual, the company that previously held the contract. According to him, Old Mutual had won the tender 3 or 4 times before he got it and wanted it back. When pressed, Matlala refused to name the Old Mutual boss allegedly behind this, saying he was too scared to mention the individual. This adds yet another layer of intrigue, suggesting that powerful corporate interests may be entangled in the fight over state contracts.
Metropolitan le.
Yes.
Uthi wena Metropolitan the tender ilithole kayi3.
Ngoba even now bayithumela kubo futhi as we speak.
Ibuyele back kubo.
Yes.
I-owner ubani le Metropolitan?
Ngisaba nokukhuluma igama.
Ah mfethu. Ngeke bakwenze next usesimex bro ngiyakutshela kungeneki la. Nama ngikhona ugena.
Amanye amagama akakhulunywa.
Ukhristian njengoba ninonke la.
So, is Vusimuzi Ket Matlala a misunderstood businessman or a man with dangerous reach into South Africa's criminal underworld? His testimony leaves us with more questions than answers. What do you think? Is this power built on legitimacy, or does it expose the very corruption Parliament is trying to root out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to Heads Up SA and stay tuned as we continue to unpack the drama shaking South Africa's justice system. Keep your heads up, SA.
Okay, that's fine. So part of what our terms of reference instruct us to investigate is an existence and the operation of a sophisticated drug cartel. Do you know about any drug cartel operating in Gauteng?
I don't know.
Do you know anything that is referred to be the Big Five?
I've learned. I just learned about it recently.
You are not part of any drug cartel?
No, I'm not.
Is your friend, close friend, as you say, Mr. Jerry, part of the drug cartel?
Not that I know of.
Okay.